alla Norma is a classic Sicilian dish named after Bellini's famous opera, Norma. And today Becky's going to show us how to make it.
So the key ingredients in this recipe are eggplant, tomato, and a firm tangy cheese called ricotta salata.
I like ricotta salata.
Yeah, it's really good. The dish is a little bit more understated than some pasta recipes, but the meaty texture of the eggplant really gives it a nice heartiness.
All right, so dealing with the eggplant, that's the issue with this recipe.
That is the key to this recipe, and it can be sort of a production sometimes, but we streamlined it, made it a lot more straightforward.
Awesome.
So we have a 1.5 pound eggplant here. Going to trim off the ends. And then we'll cut this into 1/2-inch pieces. And the way to do that is to cut some planks.
Well, I like that you're leaving the skin on because personally I love the flavor and texture of the eggplant skin.
I do too, and we actually tried this recipe with and without the skin, and we found that when it's cooked properly, it's not tough at all. Now, this is a globe eggplant. The Italian eggplants and the Asian eggplants are a little bit smaller. They tend to have more seeds, and this has a nice firm texture that's really going to hold up.
Okay, so use a standard globe here.
You got it. Now the next step when you want to cut a dice is to cut long strips. So again, we're looking for a 1/2 inch. Now we turn it a 1/4 turn, and now we'll cut our 1/2-inch dice. All right. It shrinks down so much when you cook it. You want to start with a decent amount. So a lot of recipes call for tossing the eggplant with salt and just letting it sit to draw out all that moisture, but we're going to use the microwave to speed things up.
Oh, clever.
I'm tossing the eggplant with a 1/2 teaspoon of salt here. And now we have some coffee filters. And I know that's sort of a weird thing to use. A little bit. But they're food safe and they're microwave safe. So we're gonna go ahead and line a plate with them here.
Because many paper towels have a printing on them, and that printing isn't necessarily heat safe or food safe. So using something without any printing on it is key.
That's right. If you can find food safe, undyed paper towels, that's fine to use too. So let's do a double layer of the coffee filters here.
This looks like a craft project.
I know, right? You gotta kind of flatten them out a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna give the coffee filters a little spritz with veg oil spray here. This will prevent sticking.
It looks a little odd, I'm just gonna say it.
Just roll with it, Julia. Trust me. Now let's put the eggplant onto the coffee filters. So we're going to microwave the eggplant on high for 8 to 15 minutes, and it'll shrink down to about 1/3 of its size, and it'll really dry out quite a bit, but we don't want it to brown. Okay, so the eggplant microwave for about 10 minutes. I took it out and I put it onto a paper towel lined plate. I made sure to get it out of the microwave pretty quick so we could let that steam escape.
Okay.
So now we'll put the eggplant into this bowl here. This is the same bowl we were working with before. I just wiped it out.
Clever.
One less dish to wash, Julia, right?
I can tell you do the dishes in your house.
That's right, I actually do. So now I'll add a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil.
So you're adding oil to the eggplant, and you have a pan over here heating up with oil in it as well.
I'm just trying to coat that eggplant. We don't want to use a ton of oil because it will soak up quite a bit. So
Gotcha.
we're just trying to get it nicely coated here, and then we'll add it to the other tablespoon that's already in the pan.
And I can see it's smoking now.
All right, so we put that in. That was a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And we have medium heat. We want the eggplant to get nice and caramelized and brown here, so it'll taste really good. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes.
Those look great.
Looks awesome, right? Nice and brown. Okay, so we'll kill the heat. Take this out, put it on our plate. Same plate that we used in the microwave. So now, just in the residual heat here, I'm gonna do some quick aromatics. So there's a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah, because that's still pretty hot.
It is hot, yeah. If it's not hot enough, we'll turn the heat back up to medium, but we hear a little bit of sizzle there. That's 4 cloves of minced garlic. And then we have 2 anchovies minced up. This is not gonna make the pasta sauce taste fishy in the slightest. It's just gonna add a really nice umami flavor. Now I have some red pepper flakes. I'm definitely adding a 1/4 teaspoon, but I would love to add another 1/4 teaspoon if you're down with that.
I'm down.
All right, let's do it. We're going to heat the aromatics until they're fragrant. That'll take about a minute.
Oh, it smells good.
It smells amazing. So now let's add 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. We tried this with diced tomatoes, but we really wanted the chunkiness of the eggplant to stand out, so that's why we're going for a smoother tomato product. Now we'll turn our heat back on to medium. So we're going to let this simmer away. We want it to thicken up just a tiny bit. That's going to take 8 to 10 minutes. In the meantime, I have 4 quarts of water boiling there and a tablespoon of salt, if you'll go ahead and do the honors. And then we have a pound of ziti. You could use penne or rigatoni, any tubular pasta.
Okay.
Would be great here. So we're going to cook that until it's al dente. It's been about 10 minutes. You can see the sauce has thickened up just a little bit here.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, really nice. And now we'll add our eggplant for another 3 to 5 minutes. We just want to warm that through. We didn't cook the eggplant that whole time because we found that when we did that, it soaked up too much of the tomato juice. So it's best just to kind of warm it up at the very end here.
I'm going to check this pasta. There's really only one way to test if pasta is cooked, and that's to taste it.
Perfect? Mm-hmm. All right.
So now it's time to drain. Here we go.
All right, so now it's been about 3 minutes here, and our sauce is looking great. So I'm going to turn off that heat. And I have 6 tablespoons of fresh chopped basil.
Yum.
And then just 1 final tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. We really want to preserve that beautiful taste of the oil, so we're adding just a little bit at the end here. Oh, I can smell that. That smells amazing.
It's the basil hitting that hot sauce. It really got instantly fragrant.
All right, so because I'm the cook, I get the first little taste here. I just want to check for salt.
When you're working with canned tomatoes, testing for the sodium content before serving is pretty important because every brand adds a different amount of salt to the can.
And I think this is actually perfect. I don't want to add anything. So we can go ahead and add this to our pasta. And I think we will be needing a little bit of that pasta water because this is pretty thick.
Now, pasta water is great because it's already got some of that pasta starch in it, which will help the sauce cling, and it's already seasoned.
All right, guess what time it is, Julia?
That looks delicious.
Let's eat.
All right. Oh,
You can see that sauce is not greasy.
not at all.
Has a really nice consistency.
Well, and it's not a ton of sauce. It's just enough to gently coat the pasta.
So I have 3 ounces of ricotta salata, and this is a sheep's milk cheese that's very different from the ricotta that you find in tubs in the grocery store. It's pressed, and that makes it nice and dry and firm.
So ricotta salata is an authentic part of a pasta alla Norma, but if you can't find it, you could substitute feta, cotija, or a pecorino. All right, I'm going to dig down and get some eggplant.
Yeah, I have to get all the good bits.
Yeah, I want to get a complete fork.
Oh.
That has a lot of flavor.
I know, I told you at the beginning that it was kind of subtle.
Yeah.
I think I should walk that back.
Well, you know, it doesn't look like a ton of sauce, so you think you're going to have mostly a pasta flavor. But you get the eggplant, you get the tomatoes, the basil.
And the ricotta salata, remember that too when you're seasoning it. It has a little bit of salt to it, but it adds a ton of flavor. Garlic, a little bit of anchovy that you can't taste, but
It has a meaty heartiness to it.
yeah, the eggplant has such a nice texture because we took the time to collapse it down in the microwave. It's got a really nice denseness to it.
Yeah, and that browning added a lot of flavor. Becky, this is delicious. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if you want to make this classic Sicilian pasta, cut up a 1.5 pound globe eggplant and toss with some salt. Microwave the eggplant until most of the moisture has evaporated, then saute it until beautifully browned. Build a simple pasta sauce using canned crushed tomatoes and add the cooked eggplant for just a few minutes towards the end, and garnish with ricotta salata and fresh basil. From America's Test Kitchen to your kitchen, an authentic Sicilian recipe for pasta with eggplant and tomatoes. Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think?
Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello.
You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
I'll see you later.